we're seeing some firsts. We're seeing some happenings across the political landscape abroad and at home with women. And we have a new finance minister, the first woman in the position. Congratulations to her. We have a new minister of education, a woman in that position. Not a first, certainly, but congratulations to Dana Morris Dixon. And we have a woman returning, it seems, from the political wilderness. And I want to look at that one for a couple of minutes. Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert. I'd like you to weigh in on that move. I'm trying to place my finger on the kind of move it is, and I'm hearing the Prime Minister saying you want to be sure whenever you call an election, you're in a good position to win it, which means you want winnable candidates in all those seats. But I'm also hearing him say it's really the will of the people. And I'm thinking, give us Barabbas?
What an excellent question. Give us Barabbas. And what a moment. The announcement by the Prime Minister of Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert to be the candidate for the GLP, she having resigned as MP in the aftermath of the Integrity Commission report. I mean, a number of people were shocked about her resignation as MP. She resigned as Speaker, but went further, as I said, with the resignation as MP. In retrospect, even though there was nothing that compelled her to resign that position, I think it was the right move under all of the circumstances. Now, the court case that caused her to resign, the report that caused her to resign, the matters related to that report, they remain unresolved. I believe it is the 6th of December that the parish court is to make a decision as to whether the matter should proceed to trial or whether it should be thrown out based on a preliminary point taken by her counsel. So I find it not only very strange at the lowest level, if one were to consider what is the lowest, perhaps bar to this announcement, but at the highest, I think the decision of the Prime Minister is contemptuous and perhaps extremely contemptuous, because the matter, as I say, is unresolved in the court. It is true that the people have been calling for her to be renamed as the candidate in South Trelawney. And one can understand the need to fulfill the will of the people. But fulfilling the will of the people, there should be a condition precedent. And the condition precedent is what is the principle upon which the Prime Minister believes the country is to be governed. What is the basis on which he forced the resignation of Royal Reid? And if he can, in the face of Royal Reid, in the face of Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert still having a matter before the court, if he can take her back, why not take back Royal Reid? If this is the country, if this is the basis on which he wants to run the country, there's hardly anything to distinguish those situations. It may very well be that he feels himself somehow compromised by the position in which he now sits, with an integrity commission report that has made some unsavory conclusions against him. But even his own situation, in my mind, is easily distinguishable. Distinguishable because the integrity commission, having combed all of his records for over 18 months, couldn't find a crime with which to charge him. And even in how they've laid out their report, I have, like others, found serious procedural and rule of law issues with how Integrity Commission has gone about it. So he's not quite in the same position as Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert, so that he needs to feel to justify his own remaining where he is in putting her back. So it, as I said, with the resignation as MP, in retrospect, even though there was nothing that compelled her to resign that position, I think it was the right move under all of the circumstances. Now, the court case that caused her to resign, the report that caused her to resign, the matters related to that report, they remain unresolved. I believe it is the 6th of December that the parish court is to make a decision as to whether the matter should proceed to trial or whether it should be thrown out based on a preliminary point taken by her counsel. So I find it not only very strange at the lowest level, if one were to consider what is the lowest, perhaps bar to this announcement, but at the highest, I think the decision of the Prime Minister is contemptuous and perhaps extremely contemptuous, because the matter, as I say, is unresolved in the court. It is true that the people have been calling for her to be renamed as the candidate in South Trelawney. And one can understand the need to fulfill the will of the people. But fulfilling the will of the people, there should be a condition precedent. And the condition precedent is what is the principle upon which the Prime Minister believes the country is to be governed. What is the basis on which he forced the resignation of Royal Reed? And if he can, in the face of Royal Reed, in the face of Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert still having a matter before the court, if he can take her back, why not take back Royal Reed? If this is the country, if this is the basis on which he wants to run the country, there's hardly anything to distinguish those situations. It may very well be that he feels himself somehow compromised by the position in which he now sits, with an integrity commission report that has made some unsavory conclusions against him. But even his own situation, in my mind, is easily distinguishable. Distinguishable because the integrity commission, having combed all of his records for over 18 months, couldn't find a crime with which to charge him. And even in how they've laid out their report, I have, like others, found serious procedural and rule of law issues with how Integrity Commission has gone about it. So he's not quite in the same position as Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert, so that he needs to feel to justify his own remaining where he is in putting her back. So it is highly contemptuous And it may very well work out to be Pyrrhic victory, where he wins the by-election, win he must because he's running against himself. But the bigger election is one that is due later down. And the political campaigning is going to be such that he's given a lot of food to the opposition PNP on which to campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely short-sighted, completely unprincipled, and highly contemptuous. Inexplicable, really. I don't understand it, and I never will understand it. I have to wonder, why did Bruce Golding resign in 2010? Bruce Golding made himself resign. He came upon a conscience moment, and he decided in the whole fallout of the Dudu saga, even when the voices for resignation quieted, Bruce Golding had his own road to Damascus moment, and he said he had to go. And I thought when Mr. Golding left, we'd have such levels of integrity in public life that one would not need to call for something to happen. It would happen automatically if a prime minister could resign in the way Mr. Golding did.
Yeah.
And to see that Mr. Golding's party has come to the point where you're reinstalling somebody in the face of an unresolved court matter, it's inexplicable.
Emily Shields, there are more questions than answers. I hope you find some more answers.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth its fruit in its season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Good morning and welcome to Portland Spice TV. My name is Colin Anthony Bell, SHACKA to the fame, one and the same person. You are listening to excerpts from RGR 94 FM. Help me understand this a little bit more. Derek Wilkes was talking to noted attorney Emily Shields, and you heard her views on the return of Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert. I want to play one more clip for you. That was from RGR. Hear what somebody from Nationwide said about the matter.
My thoughts on this matter. And I want you to turn me up as loud as you can, studio. Because I want to ask a very important question this morning. I have a very important question to ask the governing Jamaica Labour Party. And the question I want to ask them is if they have all lost their political minds. Has the governing Jamaica Labour Party
It coming back.
lost its political mind? Is there no one at Belmont Road that has thought this matter through clearly? Have you lost your minds? How can this be a decent course of action for you to take? The country's primary anti-corruption body, as it relates to public officials, has ruled that charges be brought against a politician, in this instance, Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert, as it relates to the declaration of her assets and incomes and the like. There's statutory declarations that need to be made. They have determined, made out a prima facie case that she broke the law as it stands. In response to this, Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert did the honorable thing by resigning as Speaker of the House and also Member of Parliament for Southern Trelawney. The people of Jamaica, many well-thinking people, and those in Southern Trelawney, in particular those in Southern Trelawney, let me deal with the folks in Southern Trelawney first. They waited for more than a year for a by-election to be called, only for the country to now be told, without this matter that Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert resigned over, without it being settled, the country is now being told that she is to be the presumptive candidate for the JLP. I ask the question again, has the Jamaica Labour Party lost its political mind?
The question is a big question. Has the political party, has the Jamaica Labour Party lost their moral mind, their moral authority? Well, they have lost their moral authority. How could you? Now, let me welcome all the viewers and listeners to Portland Spice TV. Thanks for joining me this morning. Saturday. Today is the 2nd of November. 10 down, 2 to go to complete the calendar year. The political year for the People's National Party starts in September, and the political year for the GLP, I think, starts in November. But right now, politics is at fever pitch in Jamaica. And we are experiencing a government that is willing to squander taxpayers' money with no excuse. Marcia, Celine, Outameni, Anne-Marie, Vivine, Nancy, Miss Brown, all the people in the chat room, morning and welcome. Share the channel now. Share up the channel for me now, please. Like up the video. Send it to all your links them. Yeah. So politics is at fever pitch. And the government of Jamaica now skin teeth to squander taxpayers' money. They called a by-election in Northeast St. Ann. One day, less than a day after the member of parliament resigned for no known reason to the people of Jamaica. But she resigned. And in less than 24 hours, they called the by-election, costing the country, for just the running of the election, $30 million. And what they spent, maybe another $30 million. So we are saying that it cost the country over $60 million. When an election is due within the calendar year. We are now seeing 4 by-elections being called all at once. I would ask the Prime Minister why you never call all 5 one time. But what we are seeing is political gamesmanship. Political gamesmanship is what is happening. And the Labour Party is using the government resources like it's the GLP resources. The PNP did not contest the election in Northeast St. Ann. And the announcement from the General Secretary is that the parliamentary by-elections will not be contested by the PNP. However, the 2 by-election for the local government seat in Eaning Town in Clarendon and the Morant Bay in St. Thomas, those will be contested by the People's National Party. And for clarity, I am in full agreement to contest the local government by-election, because a local government election is not due within the next 3 years, and the people needs representation. Those two councillors died. This morning, we're going to be joined by Conrad O'Brien, and I have some other distinguished guests that I am planning to bring on this morning. But we want to hear from you out there, your views on what is happening on the political landscape. So, these four, the electoral office said they're going to cost $84 million. 30 million for each of the parliamentary by-election, and $12 million each for the local government by-election. So when you had out of the 3 parliamentary election is $90 million. Straight taxpayers' money. $90 million. But you have people who destroy their houses, and they are still living in shelter in Clarendon. Shame on you, Mr. Prime Minister. I don't know what party those people support, but it should matter that people who got affected by the July hurricane, early July, don't remember the exact date of the bat, but it was in the first week of July. You are leaving those people to suffer, to fend for themselves, while you spend $90 million to seek a bounce or to seek bragging right for the Jamaica Labour Party. And I tell you, Tuesday night, that the problem that the GLP is having and the GLP spokesmen is that there are a set of analog politicians operating in the digital space. And because they don't understand the digital space, the days of telling lies and not being found out quickly are long gone. When you tell the lies now, any average man can pick up them smartphone. And you can even talk to it. You don't even have to type. You can ask the phone the question, and the phone will tell you and bring you the video clips, bring you the information. So, here is where these analog politicians are having problems. They're having serious problems now because time change. But it is on my mind from the other day to continue to address labor rights who put Jamaica first. Because what this administration is doing is not benefiting Jamaica. Not benefiting Jamaica at all. And I want to look at Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert returning to Southern Trelawney. It is a slap in the face of the people of Jamaica. But what do you think would happen when the Prime Minister is also in an untenable position? As Emily Shields said, it's not similar to Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert's position because the Prime Minister has not been charged. However, Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert has been charged. And I listened to Marlon Morgan yesterday on Power 106, Power Talk, talking a bag of rubbish and mentioning Ian Eales and Simon Kraskill brought up Richard Azan's situation, and he was likening it to fraud. I want to spend a few minutes and explain to you what Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert's situation was or is. The Integrity Commission said Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert, former Speaker of the House, failed to disclose a Mercedes-Benz that she bought. But not just bought with the concession given to ministers of government. Now, what Mr. Morgan seems to not remembering is that when a minister of government uses a concession to buy a vehicle, that vehicle must be your primary vehicle, and the vehicle that you have to drive. You have to keep that vehicle for a minimum, I think, of 3 years. I stand corrected. It's either a minimum of 3 or 5. I want to believe it's 3. So that vehicle, you have to keep that vehicle. Now, when questioned about that vehicle, Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert told the Integrity Commission she have no such vehicle. She don't know about that vehicle. She don't own no Benz. Her explanation when she was reminded and given documentation about the Benz is that she had given the Benz to her sister, I think, to drive. No, all of that is tantamount to fraud. They are now saying that she honestly never remember. She never remember say she have the vehicle. How you can remember say you have a Benz that you use duty concession to buy. So, the Integrity Commission charged her. And I think in their arrogance, because in my view, I never thought she would have resigned as MP. I thought she would have just resigned as Speaker of the House. But because them big and bad and nobody enough to talk to them, she resigned as Member of Parliament and as Speaker of the House. Now, in my humble view, if you thought then that the situation was untenable and you should resign, you should not return until all matters are cleared up. But guess what? There's a man down a Southern Trelawney named Paul Patmore. I run the ground red down there. So the Labour rights don't see a new candidate beating him. So they decide to bring back somebody who is charged. Now, Everybody play it everywhere. When Andrew Holness said he would not sit in the parliament with Richard Azan, who built some shops on the market site for vendors who were selling in the sun. But the Prime Minister said he would not sit in the parliament. I have seen the National Integrity Commission, the National Integrity Action, Daniel Archer, they came out and said that the government is mocking the citizens. Mocking the citizens of Jamaica. It's a sad, sad day. Sad. What is it we are saying to our children? What is it we are saying to the people of Jamaica? If you have links, you can get away with anything. Is that what you are saying? I am struggling to find a decent labor right these days. They all seems to be... My people, it is challenging to really listen to the Prime Minister these days. I, as a media practitioner, as a broadcaster, make it my point of duty to listen whenever the Prime Minister speaks. I don't want nobody tell me what him say. Because a lot of people, when them listen to the news and tell you what the news say, you're listening for yourself. Total different something. But I am having serious difficulties listening to Andrew Holness these days. Andrew told the country in the parliament, and I'm waiting. I never watched much of the parliament Tuesday, but I'm really concerned how the PNP dealing with it, because Andrew told the parliament that when he came to government, GDP was at 146%. And that is a lie. A lie from the pit of hell. And then me hear one next one. I don't remember if I the one when you hear Clark. I don't remember that one name. But I one of the extremely fool one. Saying that in 2016, Jamaica's economy was in turmoil. And it was this Andrew Holness administration that settled the thing and bring it back to stability. And I said to myself, why these people just get up and I tell them whole heap of liar? Is what? Make them a tell so much lie. So, the people of Jamaica, you all have to get to a stage now where you get more witty. Because these people not playing to tell lies in a man. Them not joke. And the desperation is obvious. So obvious that when they talk You see it. And you have to now start understanding what they're doing. On the screen, I have where our GDP was and what it was supposed to be. Now, this is from Statin. So in 2007, Jamaica's GDP was 114.48%. The GLP-1 in 2007, 2008. Immediately after the win, the GDP went up to 107.02% in 2008. In 2009, it went up to 141.93%. 2010, 141.4%. 2011, 139.46%. 2012, 143.9%. Derby, me dep on the show. If you want to call me on the show, for talk on the show, you have to call 804-7072. 804-7072. That's 804-7072. 7072. Yeah, man. So, 2012, the PNP came in power. And the IMF would not have any dialogue with us. Because Audley Shaw, Bruce Golding, and Andrew Wellness and the team wrecked the economy. Yeah? Now, when Dr. Peter Phillips and Portia Simpson Miller finally got a talk from the IMF and they started working, 2014, it was 137.89%. 2015, we brought it down to 121.88%. And 2016, when we lost the election, debt to GDP was at 113.69% when the labor rights came in power, 2016. And they have been bringing it down since. So Andrew Wellness lied in the parliament when he told us that when he came into power, GDP was at 145%. Lie from the pit of hell. I want to bring in Conrad O'Brien at this time. Obi, morning.
Hi, Colin. Morning. How are you doing?
My blessing, man. Giving God thanks.
Every time.
Yes, man.
He's the author and finisher of our lives.
Yes, man.
Yes.
So, Obi, I was just talking about the lies that Andrew Wellness have been telling to the people of Jamaica. Told us that when he got in power 2016, GDP was at 145%. Lie from the pit of hell. But hold on, before we get into it, I have something I have to do this morning. I have to congratulate this young man. See this young man here, Obi?
Yes.
His name is Javid Daniki Bell. That's my second child. He graduated yesterday from one of the top universities on the planet. the University of the West Indies.
Yes.
He has achieved, he has a degree in politics, you know, and he also has a degree in economy. But yesterday, he graduated from receiving a master's in data science. So, Javid, I want to big you up this morning. You make goose pimple grow up and remember me youth. And as I told him yesterday, if it's one man in the world want to see you do better than him, is me. So I just want to congratulate my son, my second child, Javid Daniki Bell, for his achievement and graduating yesterday with a master's in data science. Well done, son.
Good. I want to join in congratulating, lending congratulations to your son as well, Colin. And just allow me, please, to just say congratulations to my own niece, Latifah O'Brien. She was also a member of that graduating class yesterday at University of the West Indies. She graduated, completed her degree as an RN. So congratulations to Nurse O'Brien, and I wish her all the best. All right, that's my youngest brother, second daughter as well. He died when they were babies. You know, he served the army. He was a bomb demolition expert and so on. He was in the engineering regiment, and he left the army. And after that, you know, Colin, I don't know what happened, but he developed this thing that called vasculitis. It's something that attacked the vein. They say it's maybe a cousin of lupus. And, you know, very, very ambitious young man. And, you know, and I can tell you, his 4 children, they're doing extremely well in academics. One is now at UTech, and the youngest girl, she came out on top of all the sciences with 1 in CAPE, including maths, English, physics, and chemistry. So she applied for medicine at UTech. I'm sorry, at UA. And his son, who is the last one, he was the top boy at Mandeville Primary School. He is now at Manchester High. He's in second form now, and a girl that he is on top of his class. So, you know, they are doing quite well.
Well done. Well done.
Yes.
Conrad O'Brien. A couple of things. The political season is hot. Heating
Indeed.
up. And we are seeing a lot of political maneuvering.
Yes.
What are your views on the maneuvering being done by Andrew Holness? He called the by-election in Northeast Centre standing alone by itself, less than 24 hours after the Member of Parliament resigned. And now after a year and less than a month, less than 2 days after Nigel Clark resigned, he has called a by-election for the St. Andrew seat and the seat in Southern Trelawney. What are your views on those first?
And let's complete the cycle. I also call the by-election. I
don't want to complete the cycle yet, Conrad. Let's just deal with those first, and then we'll go back to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, of course, the Prime Minister came under quite a bit of pressure to call the standalone Centan, Northeast Centan by-election, and a number of persons thought that it was quite disingenuous on the part of the Prime Minister to have the people of Southern Trelawney hanging for a long time, and immediately he went to the Northeast by-election. So people were wondering what really happening. I think as a result of what happened then, the Prime Minister was hard pressed, and he could not go to the by-election without calling that one for St. Andrew and also over there in Trelawney. So all in all, I believe that the Prime Minister may be using these two by-election to test the water, and also maybe the Prime Minister feel quite buoyed knowing that the PNP said that they will not contest the by-election at the central government level, which of course I am on record saying that I disagree with the blanket non-contesting of the central government election. What do I mean by that? I believe that in politics you have to pick your battles. Therefore, I can understand if you select, say, a seat or two or three that you're not contesting, but I believe that in the mix of that, you must also look at your best opportunity and you should have a contest. In this particular case, I believe that the South Trelawney seat, the PNP has an excellent chance of winning that seat. And I tell you why I say that. The Paul Patmore, the candidate there, he has been on the ground working the seat for the PNP. I have been inside the constituency myself, do a laser focus, minor canvas as it were, from a media standpoint. And I can tell you that he is extremely popular. A lot of people who were with Dalrymple now saying that they would vote for Patmore. The fact that Dalrymple had been out of the loop and Patmore was on the ground, I believe that it presented the best chance for the PNP to take that seat. I believe, and this is my humble assessment, I believe the PNP has made a fatal mistake in not contesting the South Trelawney seat.
Are you in agreement, Conrad, with the government spending $90 million to call these by-election when an election is due within a year?
No, it's not no, I would certainly prefer, since especially we have the seat, say, in Trelawney has been languishing for over a year. I don't think there will be any harm in, waiting for another 6 to 9 months.
The question
for us to go.
Conrad, are you in agreement?
No, but I did answer the question. I did answer the question.
Sorry,
said
maybe
no.
I didn't get the answer.
I said no. I said I am not in agreement, but I'm going further. I'm saying to you that I don't think there would be anything wrong. I don't think the people of South Trelawney would lose anything, or even St. Andrew there would lose anything for them to hold on for another 6 to 9 months to go to the poll. When one look at the kind of expenditure that it will cost to have these by-election at this time. So therefore, my simple answer to it is no. However, one also have to understand that the Prime Minister have it within his gift based on our constitutional arrangement to go to a by-election at any time.
So, Conrad, if you're not in agreement with the government spending $90 million to call these 3 by-election when the general election is due within a year, why would you then support it?
Why would I then support it? Because it is called.
But you'd be supporting the wanton waste.
No, I'm not supporting the wanton waste.
Hold on, let me just finish the question. What would be the difference between the PNP and the GLP if the GLP calls these 3 elections spending over $90 million? Because the $90 million is just for the electoral office. It will cost the country much more than that. So what would be the difference with the 2 parties if the PNP contests?
I don't know that it will cost the country more than that, because the 90 million is the official, from officialdom, i.e. the government of Jamaica. That is the spend that would be from the coffers.
The other money, the election.
The other money that will be spent is, if we are talking about how election is run, the other money will be coming from the Labour Party and from its contributor. The 90 million, and we have to separate those. The 90 million is what it will cost from the purse, the government purse string, as it were.
Right. So, so where you think the rest of money come from, Conrad? You don't think it going? You don't think the rest of money? You don't think that some of that money is taxpayers' money? When the government run a by-election, Conrad, and I will say this here clearly: anytime this government runs a by-election, it is not the PNP versus the GLP, but it's the GLP versus the government of Jamaica.
So what you're saying, Colin, you're saying that, for example, the government will be spending money, say, to patch road, to maybe do some bushing, do whatever, and so on. That's the money that you're talking about?
That plus more.
Well, put it this way. If the government is using taxpayers' money to fund the election, then certainly that is illegal. And if we are aware of that, then we must bring the government to books on that. I can
tell you, Conrad. I can tell you in the by-election in East Portland, road was fixed by night.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, Colin.
We wrote to the political ombudsman about those. So those are facts.
So that's what I'm saying, Colin. We're on the same page. I'm saying to you that we remember, if the government spend money in a by-election to fix roads, do bushing, etc., what they will say is that this is what they're doing with taxpayers' money, which is quote-unquote legal. Quote-unquote legal. The other thing where I'm referring to, if we're saying that, listen, the government is using the taxpayers' money to do their canvassing, to do whatever. And I understand also, Colin, that from the contracts that may be given out,
You're freezing up on us, Conrad. I don't know. Is Conrad gone on a pause? Let's hope we get him back. But I am of the opinion that if you're not in agreement with the waste of the money that is going to be used, $90 million, we have schools that have not completed their repairs. Conrad, maybe you should restart and join me back, please. If we have schools that have not been repaired, we have hospitals that are in tatters, our roads are in deplorable condition, and the government is willing to take up $90 million. In fact, in the case of Northeast St. Ann, we still don't know why the MP resigned. So that seems to us like a orchestrated resignation for some reason or the other. And therefore, I am saying, unlike Conrad, I agree with the position of the People's National Party, not to be drawn out like a shoes lace by a desperate and corrupt government. Not to be drawn out by them. Because what this is, is about trying to get back in the good books of the people. Or trying to say to the people of Jamaica, we have a bunks. And I totally agree with the General Secretary of the People's National Party. Do not contest the parliamentary by-elections. They are political gamesmanship, trickery. My brethren DP is asking, what's the cost for the local government by-election? Each one will cost $12 million. That's what the EOJ put out. So both of them will cost $24 million. And let me add to that, DP, that those elections are not due within the next 3 years. So therefore, we believe that those by-elections are legitimate, those are legal in every sense of the word. The two councillors passed on. May their souls rest in peace, and condolences to their friends and their families. One is a GLP councillor, one is a PNP councillor. So those by-elections are quite in order, even if they did cost more. Let me take the call here. Morning, my brother.
Morning, sir.
Wagwan.
May I get bashing because it's usual, from your people them. But me just I say, like I said, I didn't hear if you read that one. When I say, I think the PMP is just acting out of convenience at this stage. That is why you're following the GenSec and going along with that line, because $24 million is still can do some of the stuff them that you mentioned. The next thing, the fact that the local government election is not due constitutionally until another 4 years, that have nothing to do with what are the bylaws, when they call it something determine when local government elections, not local government, when by-election for call.
Mm. No,
It can
as it relates to local government, the bylaw says if the election is due within a year, the by-election should not be called.
Right, but I'm saying,
right, so that,
if a councillor die, how soon it's supposed to call?
Within 90 days after reporting in the municipal corporation.
All right, so with 90 days, 3 months after reported in. But me just within, convenience. Like, who is going to win? Who is going? Those two. Let me ask this, because I don't know. Those two divisions. The councillors that passed were the JLP or PMP councillors?
One of each.
Or one is a JLP and one is a PMP?
The one in Clarendon is a JLP and the one in St. Thomas is a PNP.
Okay.
And we are contesting both.
Right, but along with what Conrad was saying, and I heard you kind of get defensive a while ago, like almost you didn't want him to talk or to express himself.
No, man, you never hear me stop him.
No, man, like you him answer your question and you say you never answer.
I didn't hear.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's what I said.
Sorry.
I didn't hear.
My interpretation.
Conrad is back. Well, I'm making him straight now.
You look Conrad. What one, brother?
No, man, well, I'm not bring him up yet. Continue.
Bring him up, man.
Continue. No, man, hold on, I must set him camera. Continue with your question. But what I'm saying to you, DP, the local government elections.
The question and then you start talking.
Hold on, the local government elections that you talk about, those are quite in order. And if the PNP did say them now, give me some headspace there, Conrad. Give me some headspace for your camera. If the PNP did say them now, contest. Yeah, that's. Give me a little more headspace.
I am a little bit challenged just based on where I am.
All right.
How you stay there now?
Come on, give me some more. If you stay there, we can live with that. So I have DP on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So DP, what I'm saying to you is that the two local government by-elections are quite in order, and those must be contested and will be contested. However,
so let me ask you a hypothetical, because you done gone already, and I think you're going to say whatever your Gen 6. I know you're ready.
I'm better there, Colin.
Yeah, man.
If they only call the one in Clarendon, which is almost assured that JLP is going to retain the seat, would you guys have still contested it?
The local government one?
The one in Clarendon.
The local, yes,
JLP
man.
counselor.
Of course, we would contest it.
And I can say my opinion. I disbelieve you. I believe that the only reason why the GenSec is saying this is because you guys have been wanting that by-election in St. Thomas and
no, but DP.
Even now, Colin, please allow me. I hear a show of me not talk for the 2 hours. Even with the talking point, I hear other people on radio and social media now having a problem. But you guys are citing the Trelawney as why is it that is a year these people have out to represent? And now I flip the script and I say, no, because it's too soon. It's like shifting the goalpost. So what Conrad was saying, and I agree with him 100%, If Pat Moore was doing so good, at least test the water.
No, but DP, you're not understanding something.
I don't understand it because I'm not a PMP and I can't think like a PMP. What can I just say that is what I'm doing?
Hold on, man. Can you just listen a little bit? Conrad, hold on, Conrad. DP, the decision not to contest the parliamentary election was not a decision of the General Secretary. It was a decision of the NEC. It was a collective decision.
I don't care. Representing the PNP. And the gen set me here say it first.
No, but the
I don't
gens.
care who say.
But you know, all right. Let me leave you alone because.
But me not understand it, Colin.
No, because you don't want to understand.
Can I say something, please?
And you want to hear other people, and when people call to share their opinion, you basically tell them, say, no, your opinion is invalid. Me no want to hear it.
But it's not an opinion I'm sharing. I am telling you a fact, and you are saying you don't care.
Share my opinion. So if you disagree with my opinion, or if you don't want me to say that, but please allow me to share my opinion, sir.
DP. Morning. Let me say this.
Morning, sir.
I think you watered down your argument a bit by saying that you can't understand because you're not a PNP. Us being able to understand something, it should not be whether we support PNP or JLP. I have gone into the constituency of South Trelawney, and I personally believe with all my heart that Paul Patmore has an excellent chance of winning that seat. However, the PNP from early in the piece said that, listen, they will not contest any central government election. So the position that they have taken on this is not a flip-flop position. As a matter of fact, they are holding to their original position, and we have to give them credit on that. As it relates to the seat in Clarendon, the Indian Town division, I beg to differ with you on that. I believe that the PNP has an excellent chance of winning that division, and I believe that's where the by-election will take center stage, the Indian Town division. And I tell you what, if you look at the history of the Indian Town division, it has never won before by a JLP candidate. It's the first time that they won it. And there were some issues that were there. The JLP basically barely scraped home.
They won it by 80 odd votes.
By 80 odd vote in that one. And my understanding is that there was a lot of work had gone into the division since then. And the PNP is quite buoyed and quite happy that they have a glorious chance. But why I'm saying that this is where the by-election will be, this by-election will give real change. Should the PNP win this by-election, it means that they will take over the municipal corporation and Cian Barn as well. Pardon me.
So Conrad,
will attain the mayorship in Clarendon. Yes.
So that put to the dump where DP just said if it was the Clarendon election alone, the PNP wouldn't contest it. That's
no, man, they would. They would. No, man, the PNP has been chomping at the bit. As a matter of fact, this is a glorious, granted, and I'm sure that nobody was hoping for anyone to die. But if there is a more glorious opportunity that the PNP would hope for, it is this one. And there would be this is a seat that they believe that it is in poor position for the PNP. And in my humble opinion, as I said before, that is where the real by-election, the real contest will be in the Indian Town division of Clarendon.
All right, we're not going to make me talk now. Or if you just hang up and listen to your show.
DP, stop those kind of
arguments. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, DP, talk.
You are participating. We are communicating. It's your turn to speak. Now to speak.
No, go right
ahead. Come on,
man. Colin.
Go ahead, yeah.
Half truth is a danger, don't?
Sure.
And let me express, and I apologize because I just said I didn't understand, which is being truthful. No, Conrad just put things into perspective, because when I ask you, which the councillors which side the thing. I thought the Clarendon seat was a staunch PMP, not PMP, JLPC. That's why I asked the question that I asked, but the perspective that Conrad just put a while ago makes sense. So again,
but hold on,
argument
DP.
that I'm making.
Hold on.
The argument that I'm making is that the only reason why PMP is contesting both seats is because they expect to come out glorious.
DP, but you said before, hold on, you said before that if at the Clarendon alone by-election it called, PMP wouldn't contest it. And it just no, you said, right, and you shouldn't make statements when you are ignorant of the facts. And I tell you that all the time. But you see, you just dash for yourself, you know. No, but you just dash for yourself. You just say you just talk a lot of rubbish. Because
Colin and DP.
Understand? Hold on, Conrad, hold on. You're making statements that you don't know the facts, and when the facts hit you now, you start back up.
So why you know when the facts hit you too? You me here says numerous times on your show say you can change your mind.
DP.
So if I don't know all the facts, I know if a big lawyer, sometimes things come up and them have to recess to go dig up back case file because me don't want to walk in, me don't know all of these things.
But
so again, I am saying because you did not add that to it. All you said was yes, they would have contested. But Conrad, I'm going to big up Conrad this morning. Because sometimes me kind of take some issues with him. But if Conrad did not talk a while ago, I would leave with the impression based on where you are paying 50 cents. And of course, would have contested. On what grounds would not decide for never contested?
Oh, you
because
mean?
As Conrad said a while ago, this seat is a traditional PMP council division. So the work that the PMP have put in this place, but the point I'm trying to make,
I did not know that either,
DP.
I did not know that either. That it was a traditional PNP seat. I didn't know that.
So why you think the GenSec and you say it's a gamesmanship and a political ploy?
No, but we said
them do the same thing.
But we said it from day one that we would contest all.
All right. So let me ask Conrad a question. Conrad.
Yes.
Yes, parliamentary seats. Which of those the PMP, if they are apart from the partner, I may agree with you, based on the 1 year that Miss Dalrymple-Philibert wasn't in there, I thought that the PMP had gained some ground, some traction, based on what we see online or whatever, right? So that is why I thought they should have exposed Mark Golden and run this one. Apart from that one, the other two, the PMP have any history in those constituency where they aren't doing any work where they would have come out with all three constituency if they had contested?
No, I don't think they would come out with all three constituencies. Frankly speaking, I think the seat that Nigel Clark has just demitted from, I think that I don't see the PNP have a chance in winning that seat because first thing to begin with, there's a brand new candidate for the PNP. She will now have to go inside there, sell herself to the people, get familiarized with the constituency. So that's one that immediately I will basically pencil in for the Jamaica Labour Party. As it relates to Northeast Centre, I also think that the PNP had a chance in that seat as well. And I think based on the turnout that we saw there, you know, in spite of the entire cabinet and the parliament on the JLP seat, 47 out of 49 member of parliament was out there working the ground. And my information from them is that from persons, MP that were there, at least 4, they said to me that it is the hardest they have ever worked in their political life to bring out under 5,000 vote when the MP, the now MP, said that he was expecting to bring out 10,000 vote. So, but I must say that going into the election, that by-election in St. Ann, obviously, I would have given the Jamaica Labour Party the edge in there based on the history, the recent history of the constituency, and the fact that they are in government. And to allude to Colin point, to accede to Colin point, that when you're in government and you're going into that election, then certainly you would draw on some amount of state resources. I made the point yesterday about Shaini Robinson herself being ushered into parliament. That it was the PNP that was in government at the time. And certainly the PNP at that material time used state resources as well in St. Anne, because I remember going down there and road was fixed the night before the by-election. And that is one of the reasons why I said to the PNP that it is possible with all of this for Patmore, based on the work that Patmore has invested in the constituency so far. I think they should have contested that election.
I agree with you. So let me say one more rubbish before me just listen.
No, man, just make your point, BP.
Both the PNP and the JLP, because it is called politics. Now I hear that even Cafe saying that this whole thing of calling by-election, whatever, should be removed from the government and it's the electoral commission. All these changes want now because the party that is in power is not supported by a lot of these loudmouth, bullan kind of people. So this is my thing. I've seen where Peter Phillips get fractured because he lost several by-elections. Damon Crawford is in East Portland being one of them.
Can I ask you a question?
Another one in St. Mary. So can I finish and then you ask me a question?
No, I'm going to ask you the question now. Before we forget. No, you can't finish, but I'm going to ask you the question now.
Go ahead,
Andrew Wallace ever lost a by-election while in government?
I don't know.
Yes, he has.
Yes, he has. He lost, for example, a by-election over there in Portmore. That was in the greater Portmore constituency when the late MP Councillor McCormack died. The PNP won that election. And I think there was also
Angela Brown-Burke.
Angela Brown-Burke as well. She won that. She won that. Mark Golden himself too.
Yeah.
Mark Golden himself too.
Just trying to teach you something, DP.
Well, I try to teach you
that just before DP come back in Colin. Just before DP come back in Colin. I agree. DP.
Hold on. Gentle people, hold on. I am the host of the show. Yeah? So just calm down. Conrad, go ahead.
DP, I agree with you, that political party are in the business of politics to win. So they're going to pick the battles that they think suit them the best. I think for me, DP, where the rubber hits the road, and this is where I know I am prepared to question the Prime Minister. To me, the Prime Minister shows contempt for the Jamaican people in bringing back Marissa Dalrymple into the fold.
Hold on. Before you go to Conrad, DP wanted to say something else on the by-election. So I could finish the by-election before you go to Go ahead, DP.
It's the by-election still in.
I was asking a question based on your question, Colin. Who do you think losing a by-election affects more? A opposition or a sitting prime minister?
I would think a sitting prime minister.
But that is not what history shows with Dr. Peter Phillips. That's the point I'm making. You're telling me that the PMP was stronger after Damon Crawford lost that by-election?
Hell no, I didn't say that.
Getting the most vote in recent time with PMP ever getting at East Portland?
No, we weren't stronger after. That's why we lost the 2020 election terribly
that's
after.
Why I'm saying again, I'm in agreement with Conrad. Based on the when Mr. people put out on the calling thing, I thought this would have maybe even sure up. Because as you said,
but you see,
hold on, Colin, man, we could have a canvas. Me I try to become if you keep on cutting me out.
No man, but DP, I mean I was the show now, and nobody now.
Can I just quickly say something? Colin and DP, I just quickly want to say something based on what before you said a while ago.
Hold on. DP, say what you say.
I believe, Conrad, and I think you would support me on this. The
Tell
amount
me.
of stripe out that end up place and mark if Patmore had won against this, them returning Dalrymple and him beat our backside. That would have given them the same bragging rights that them have from coming out with more councillors in the last local government. It would be on the same level.
All right.
So you would only be good for the PMP and Mark Golden and the Gen Sec.
All right. Hold on, DP. Conrad, go ahead.
DP, you asked a question just now. Who, if in a by-election, who comes out looking better, opposition or the government? It depends on how. It depends on the result. It depends on the result.
The question was based on result.
No, I asked who suffered worse.
If the party in government lose, they, in my opinion, they would suffer more than the opposition.
Absolutely.
If the opposition lose, they would suffer, but not to the effect that it would have on a government in power.
No, man, they can suffer big time to even more.
Conrad, but
because hold on, especially based on the tide.
Yeah, man,
based
Conrad,
on what
I don't want to take the discussion this way, no. I don't want to take the discussion.
Colin, you're running a program. Please allow me to speak, sir.
I don't want to go there, sir.
Go where? I am simply saying, Colin.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Because I'm not going down that road.
Down which road?
Where I want to go. I'm leading the show. I mean, I take it when I want to take it. Go. Before DP leave, I want to ask you, what are your views on Marissa Dalrymple coming back as the candidate for Southern Trelawney?
Right. Me
or DP?
DP.
Conrad?
Yes.
We haven't met in person, but me follow and rate you. Colin, me have an interest in this. I used to host a program. It was the longest current affair program on local cable in Jamaica from about 93 somewhere there. So I started. Him draw me and pique me interest in it. Me one of them Jamaican who never like vote or believe. I used to say the two parties are the same and all of that. But you see, this stance we call it Mr. Bell just take a while ago. Me feel insulted and disrespected, so me I go hang up and just listen to the rest of the show.
Thank you. No man, don't do that.
No man, that's all right.
All right.
Go ahead, Conrad.
Okay. All right, Colin. Thanks for that question, my brother. And if I come across in any way abruptly hugging your show, I'm sorry. Colin, let me say that the Prime Minister is in a spot of bother. The Prime Minister's integrity, credibility is under cloud, questionable. And for the Prime Minister now to double down and take this position in bringing back Marissa Dalrymple, I think he has further impugned or add to that questioning of his integrity and credibility. Remember, Marissa Dalrymple left the political scene under cloud. As far as we're aware, that cloud has not yet been cleared. And for the Prime Minister to bring her back, in my view, it is showing stark disregard and contempt for us as the Jamaican people.
But why so, Obi? Because when she resigned as Speaker of the House and Member of Parliament, a lot of people were saying that she didn't have to resign as Member of Parliament.
All right. Excellent question. Excellent question. But in her wisdom, she saw it fit to step aside from board position. And as far as we are aware, those things remain hanging. Therefore, the issue that caused her to feel as if it was incumbent on her to step aside as MP and as Speaker of the House remain the same. So unless Mrs. Dalrymple come to us now and say, listen, boy, this is the position and that is the position, and add some clarity to it, we must ask the question, because the things remain not settled as yet. I would have no issue if we have a clearance, a full clearance, the thing being ventilated in the court, and we have full clearance and she returned. But for her to return, as I heard, I didn't hear it myself, but it was brought to my attention from one of my listeners, that on Radio Jamaica, RJR Hotline, the host, attorney at law, and talk show host Emily Crooks said that with bringing back Marissa Dalrymple, might as well you just go back for Royal Reed.
You want to hear it?
Yes, let me hear it.
Conrad, let me just say this to DP, my friend. You see, there are styles that, based on my experience in media, I can pick up some styles. You understand?
And this is not Styles FM.
No, this is not Styles FM this morning. But when people try to take you off point and try to remove you from the substantive topic that you want to discuss, we can pick up those.
All right.
The Dalrymple issue is not an issue that DP and the GLP wants us to discuss. So you now take me off of my substantive topic when we want to discuss this morning.
To the listeners, thank you so much for the wishes.
Yes,
listen this.
Glad it was a good day. Women in politics. We're seeing some firsts. We're seeing some happenings across the political landscape, abroad and at home, with women. And we have a new finance minister, the first woman in the position. Congratulations to her. We have a new minister of education, a woman in that position. Not a first, certainly, but congratulations to Dana Morris Dixon. And we have a woman returning, it seems, from the political wilderness. And I want to look at that one for a couple of minutes. Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert. I'd like you to weigh in on that move. I'm trying to place my finger on the kind of move it is, and I'm hearing the Prime Minister saying you want to be sure whenever you call an election, you're in a good position to win it, which means you want winnable candidates in all those seats. But I'm also hearing him say it's really the will of the people. And I'm thinking, give us Barabbas.
What an excellent question. Give us Barabbas. What a moment.
Listener,
the announcement by the Prime Minister of Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert to be the candidate for the GLP, she having resigned as MP in the aftermath of the Integrity Commission report. I mean, a number of people were shocked about her resignation as MP. She resigned as Speaker, but went further, as I said, with the resignation as MP. In retrospect, even though there was nothing that compelled her to resign that position, I think it was the right move under all of the circumstances. Now, the court case that caused her to resign, the report that caused her to resign, the matters related to that report, they remain unresolved. I believe it is the 6th of December that the parish court is to make a decision as to whether the matter should proceed to trial or whether it should be thrown out based on a preliminary point taken by her counsel. So I find it not only very strange at the lowest level, if one were to consider what is the lowest, perhaps bar to this announcement, but at the highest, I think the decision of the Prime Minister is contemptuous and perhaps extremely contemptuous, because the matter, as I say, is unresolved in the court. It is true that the people have been calling for her to be renamed as the candidate in South Trelawney. And one can understand the need to fulfill the will of the people. But fulfilling the will of the people, there should be a condition precedent. And the condition precedent is, what is the principle upon which the Prime Minister believes the country is to be governed? What is the basis on which he forced the resignation of Royal Reed? And if he can, in the face of Royal Reed, in the face of Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert still having a matter before the court, if he can take her back, why not take back Royal Reed? If this is the country, if this is the basis on which he wants to run the country, there's hardly anything to distinguish those situations. It may very well be.
So Conrad, you heard it.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree with Counsel more.
From
Colin.
Nationwide, I'd want you to hear before you go. Listen to this clip here
Okay.
from Nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts on this matter. And I want you to turn me up as loud as you can, studio. Because I want to ask a very important question this morning. I have a very important question to ask the governing Jamaica Labour Party. And the question I want to ask them is, if they have all lost their political minds, has the governing Jamaica Labour Party lost its political mind? Is there no one at Belmont Road that has thought this matter through clearly? Have you lost your minds? How can this be a decent course of action for you to take? The country's primary anti-corruption body, as it relates to public officials, has ruled that charges be brought against the politician, in this instance, Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert, as it relates to the declaration of her assets and incomes and the like. There's statutory declarations that need to be made. They have determined, made out a prima facie case.
So I'm going to stop it there, Conrad. But you hear that I don't remember the name of that host from Nationwide. You know the voice, right?
It's Tyrone Reed. Tyrone Reed.
Reed. The man is asking if the GLP lost their political minds.
Absolutely. And let me just say this, Colin, that, and DP, I'm sure DP is listening, just unfortunate that he left us so abruptly. I tell you this, Colin, nobody at all in Jamaica can question Emily Crooks and Tyrone in terms of they are who you would call friendly hosts of the Jamaica Labour Party. They are not, some people would come and say, boy, Conrad may be a little more lethal. But Tyrone and Emily, they are who people would even describe as supporters even of the Jamaica Labour Party. I'm not going to go there. Right? But you know what I'm talking about, Colin.
Yes.
And for them to come out and to say this, but Colin, truth pressed to earth must rise.
Yes.
And sometimes, no matter how much you are an avid supporter or defendant of persons or of a party, if you have any semblance of decency within you, you are compelled to speak the truth from even if it be from time to time. And at this time, Emily Crooks and Tyrone Reid spoke from the heart and they spoke the truth. The Prime Minister is in tatters. The
Yes.
Prime Minister's credibility is in the gutter. He is indeed underwater.
Do
And
you
Colin,
trust?
I dare say, I heard from a couple civil society group, but I'm expecting that at the start of play, meaning Monday, the official start of the work week, I expect more and more of them to come out of the woodwork and condemn this. I expect the media, more practitioners in the media, to come out in a pointed way as Emily, Tyrone, and myself has come out so far. I'm
Conrad.
also expecting, sorry, Colin, I'm also expecting the church, the council of churches. I'm expect academia, i.e. the universities, the teachers' colleges,
Line for me.
and so on and so forth, to come out and lend their voice to this, Colin. The Prime Minister cannot continue to do these things and run Jamaica in this way.
Let's take a call, Conrad. Caller, good morning.
Go ahead.
Welcome to Portland Spice TV.
Morning, sir. My day, I listening, but my views based on the thing is there was the same difficulty in she staying at the post, and she's now coming back to vie for the post with the same difficulty hanging over her head, and that was the same major make she and resign.
So
I know that the people of South Trelawney is without representation for within a year and about 30 days now or so. But outside of that, they should have get representation before now. Why coming at this late stage to give representation?
So you don't think she should come back?
No, man. You see, when you look at, it's difficult for her to come back and fill the gap, Matt. It's difficult for her to come back and fill the gap now, because when you look at the ETEC 73 EG, it's a where a criminal or a civil proceedings as it placed against the member, then you cannot move the member. But this member now, there is a proceedings placed against the member. So in light of that, ETEC 73, me would have wanted to wait out the circumstance of the matter, and then if it is that she had clear on whatever implication she had resigned, then she could have said, all right, then
that's the
she have a fair chance of coming back.
You're talking about decency right there. That's the decent thing to do.
Absolutely. This voice sound familiar. Who is this, please?
Voice sound familiar?
Yes.
Are the legal man from some of them at Trelawney you come from? That's our mom.
Central?
Yes, man.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. It's East Central.
Big up and welcome, man. But let me ask this though. The GLPR, they are saying that Ian Ailes was referred to the police. Is there a difference?
Well, it would have been different in opinion, because one is already facing matter and one resigned. Just the mere fact that she resigned, it's bring a wider aspersion towards the demonstration. Just the mere fact that she had resigned. But if she had never resigned, it would have a better grounds.
But
there's also East Central, and there's also East Central and Colin. A bigger point also. Marissa Dalrymple had basically found guilty. This is not any guess, you know. The fact is that the concession was given to her sister. So there is a clear
hold on, Obi. The concession was not given to her sister. The car was given to her sister. The car was given. And we can't say soul because we don't know that. That's an allegation. But what we know is that her sister was the one who had the car And the law says if you get the concession, because Marisa Dalrymple was the one who got the concession as member of parliament and as minister. She got the concession. And the law says if you get a concession to buy a vehicle, that vehicle must be your primary vehicle. So for her to forget that she had that Mercedes Benz, you could, well, she said it was given to her sister. And her sister was the one driving the vehicle. So that was illegal.
No, it goes deeper than that. It wasn't just driving. The concession
car was sold after a couple of years. Her sister couldn't get the concession, Conrad. She got the concession, give the car to the sister.
I'm not talking about the concession. I'm talking about the way the concession was handled.
Right.
Because we know the sister could not get the concession because the sister is not a parliamentarian or qualified from a government position to get that. But what I'm saying is that there are startling difference as it relates to the Hales case and to Marisa Dalrymple's case. Sorry.
Stark difference though. Ian
is still pledging his innocence as to what happened. On the other hand, with Marisa, we knew that the situation took place based on the finding. So there's a difference there.
And her admissions as well.
Absolutely.
The mere fact that she had resigned, she had failed to give accurate information to the commission that breaches section 14 and article 15. So the fact that she had resigned is just the decency to resign. It's not costing any aspiration and speaker's chair, and that was a wonderful thing for her to do. But outside of that, by not letting the process finish and then she has drawn back into the situation as in wanting to represent the people, although the people were put her there. But by just the mere fact that she had resigned, it raises doubt.
Hold on, Conrad. You think she thought she made a mistake by resigning as member of parliament, so she wants to come back now?
You know what? Well, she thought at the initial stage that was the best thing to do. But after look back through the various months, she said, well, people have been accused of merely Collyworth are actually the same thing, and they didn't have resign. But the mere fact that she had resigned, that is the biggest part of it.
Right.
You see, she could have stayed and represent, but just leave some other professional out of it, and she would have been a better person today.
Yeah.
But the moment for her was like, that was the best thing. And when I listen to a lawyer speak, our lawyer speak, but our lawyer speak in a terms where something there where I can't sit through, I just can't sit through it.
Talk to me.
I go listen back the transcript again where our lawyer did speak on the matter and confused. There was something that the lawyer did said where it bothers me from yesterday up until today. And me still go look back for the piece of transcript there. Can we take out, So that the piece is a critical piece for me to expound on with Mr. Mullins this Monday coming.
All right, my brother.
Let's go look back for the piece there.
All right, Essential. So, go ahead.
You recognize my voice?
we'll listen to a lot of voices, Essential, and we pick it up. Conrad, pick it up as well.
Oh.
All right, my brother.
Essential, you need to call my program on Monday. You can also pick me up on and Fit FM out of Trelawney. I simulcast with them on my program on News Talk 93 FM on Mondays. So you can chime in and make your point there as well. I'm on Mondays and Tuesdays from 9 until 12. All right?
Yes, sir, but I wanted to speak on the matter of conviction and disclosure, but not this morning.
All right.
Yeah. Before you close out on this, Colin, I also want to just make the point to say that, while we talk about Marisa Dalrymple, because she is the subject in terms of she's the person who will be, pardon me, my throat is needling me, who will be representing. However, I believe that the spotlight must be on the Prime Minister.
Yes, he makes the decision.
Yeah, because Marissa did not and could not put herself back there. The Prime Minister is the one that must be held to books on this. And as I said before, the Prime Minister credibility is found wanting. And I couldn't agree with Emily more to ask, why not reinstate Rail Reid?
A couple of things, Conrad, that I want to touch on. We have a new Minister of Finance. Favour Williams is now the new Minister of Finance. What are your views?
All right, let me just say congratulations to Favour Williams. And as I always say, Favour is somebody that I personally have some time for. I don't think that she is bombastic, she is even charisma and so on, but she has a quiet demeanor. And I believe that in terms of the bunch that is there now, Favour Williams is the best choice, the best option, owing to the fact that that's her discipline, the discipline in which she is trained in finance, and also the fact that she had spent some time in the ministry before, so she know her way around somewhat, right? And the argument that was floated about was for the Prime Minister to be the titular head and then bring persons inside from the Senate to basically, buffer it or to do the heavy lifting. I'm on record saying from day one, and I think you too, Colin, to say that it would be the most untidy situation owing to the fact that the Prime Minister himself is also under cloud with his IC report. All right, or filing by the IC from the IC. And so all in all, I believe that the best choice at the moment is Favour. As to how well she will do in the portfolio, it is left for us to see. She has a mere 6 to 9 months to navigate. It's going to be interesting to see her presenting a budget, because I don't believe that the election will be held in Q1 of 2025. So I think she will get the opportunity to present a budget, and I believe that it's going to be very interesting to see what she delivers there. That will be the first business at hand for her to carry through, because between now and then, I anticipate that she will just be keeping her hands on the wheel and maintaining the status quo as it relates to what Nigel Clark left there, So, but all in all, I believe that it is the best option that the Prime Minister has. Hi.
We are taking your calls, listeners and viewers. 8047072. We're having a discussion as to where we are now with Favour Williams as the new Minister of Finance and Dr. Dana Morris as the new Minister of Education. What are your views on that?
Dana, again, I also want to congratulate her. Dana should be a fairly steady pair of hands, but what happened, it's education is such a critical ministry. Yes. And while Dana has people like the Chief Education Officer, the PS herself, who is an educator, a former principal and so on, so she'll have those expertise here to draw on. But certainly...
Hold on, caller.
Certainly, Dana... we were expecting.
Hold on the Toronto. Finish up, Conrad.
We were expecting Dana, Dr. Morris, to come in government, with a very sharp mind and be very, very sharp on the curve as it relates to the information portfolio and so on. And, the jury is out on that. As a matter of fact, people are saying that at times she turned up even worse than the former minister himself, Morgan, who was very poor. So,
let's take the call,
while one wish her the best, but certainly the proof of the pudding will be in the eating.
Go ahead. Hold on, caller. Hold on. 804-7072. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
DP, I see you was calling. I'll call you back. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'm here doing some work and listening to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I have something come to mind that I have been noticing and listening to. And why is it when we reason as Jamaicans, we can only have two views, a JLP view and a PNP view?
Oh boy.
So if it is that once you share a different view from the government, your view is PNP. Now, based on my knowledge and experience, I know that for you to have a view to say it's a PNP view, you have to be a representative or a spokesperson on behalf of the PNP. So if I even support the PNP and I have my view and I put my view there, my view should be characterized as my view, but not necessarily of the PNP view, because I am not speaking on behalf of the PNP. I am not in that capacity. And when I listen to what is happening, every time persons from civil society comes out and speaks against the government, remember, if you're an NGO, your duty is to be vanguard for the people.
Yes.
So it's to protect the interests of the populace. So whatever decision you see the government is making that is anti the people, your duty is to speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
Your duty is not to go and defend and present the view of the government. That's not your purpose.
Yeah.
And when you see you have persons coming out and want and expect that, are presenting a narrative to say, why are these people always talking against the government?
Mm-hmm.
If the government is doing things that is not necessarily in the interest of whichever group in the society, these NGOs or civil society group have a right to speak.
What do you expect?
And nobody should come forward and put in for the argument as if they are stupid, loud mouth, and all these derogatory comments. And in the same breath, if you listen to some of the utterances coming from them, they are not reasoned. They criticize others as being biased and one-sided. And when you listen to their presentation, it's just the opposite. So if it is the opposite, it is one and the same.
Oh, yeah.
It is one and the same. But we need, as a people, and this is why we only have a two-party system in this country, Smaller country with a smaller population have several parties. But because we have boxed ourselves in to believe that once you have a view, and it's not the view of the ruling party, it must be the view of the other side.
Mm-hmm.
That is the furthest thing from the truth. And I think when we host programs, we must promote diversion thinking.
Yes.
And we must be tolerant enough to understand that, look, other views exist. And since other views exist, in a respectable manner, we can give hearing to them. But you see the slide remarks and the cheeky remarks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not getting us anywhere. In fact, it does further divide us. And in my estimation, creating cults. Because the reality is, I can tell anybody that if the present matter at hand, because I have no issue with Ms. Dalrymple. Ms. Dalrymple took a principled stand when she was charged
Mm-hmm.
to step aside.
Yes.
She has a principled stand. I have no issue with that. Anybody may have issue with is the person who decides to carry her back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's a two separate issues.
So that's exactly what Conrad has been saying is the Prime Minister I have an issue with.
Yeah. So and that is not a PMP view.
Mm-hmm.
That is a principled view to say if the lady in her wisdom thought her action was of such that she should step aside, possibly to clear her name. Why not giving her a chance to clear her name and then carry her back? Why you take her and carry her back before her name even clear? Because remember, we are operating on the presumption of innocence, which is reasonable in any well-thinking society.
Wilson.
So the fact that she has the other day in court, we cannot say wholeheartedly with certainty that based on our system that she's guilty.
Right.
Let us wait until that time. But to take her and carry her back after she take out herself, we have to look at the wisdom of the Prime Minister. Why is he doing this?
Yes.
And then, when you look at several other things that this man has done, this man has shown us as Jamaicans that he has scant regard for the Constitution.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
he
yeah.
had made several questionable calls as it relates to the Constitution. It is my view that the negative thinking that a lot of Jamaicans develop as it relates to the IC was instigated by his action and the persons around him. So the fact that to the point where persons, when I hear the first person speak on several shows, when I watch their comments on social media, it is as if the IC is an agent or a subgroup of the opposition.
Wilson, I'm running out of time. I have 2 callers to call back. What are your views on your new Minister of Education?
Well, to be fair, I know nothing at all about her. And I'm not in a position to make any comment as it relates to whether or not she will be competent enough to tackle the problems that exist in education. I'm only hoping that as quickly as possible, if she's not afraid with what is happening in it, the factors that are affecting the classroom today, she needs to get herself abreast with that and try to do things to stem migration of teachers.
Yes.
Actually get the classroom to be a more comfortable place and address, as I heard you say that her number one thing is numeracy and literacy. Good place to start. However,
and I think she add early childhood to that as well.
Right. It require more than just talk. It require what we call a concerted effort by the government to put the required resources at the required level for us to get the result that we really need as a country from our classroom.
Thank you very much, Wilson.
Yeah, man. All right, cool.
All right. Conrad?
Yeah, Colin, I'm going to have to take my leave of you, but I'll say this, and I'm speaking primarily at this time as a talk show host, broadcast journalist.
Hold on, caller. Yeah, Conrad.
The fact is that I operate under the mantra, Colin, that people will say anything. People will accuse one of being on this side or the other. What I say is that people must judge you on a body of work. Yes. And what in my view is important is not so much the whole business of balance, as it were. It's about truth. The veracity of what you're saying. Can it stand up? Can it stand the test of time? And so on and so forth. That is what is extremely important in my view. As it relates to what Wilson talk about the two-party system, I am not flustered or worried about that at all. Because certainly in more larger country, you really have what you would describe as predominantly a two-party system. Because even though you might have some other fringe element, they basically almost irrelevant. So what we need to do is to have that kind of discussion, and while we put each other point forward, persons can agree to disagree, and that is why I have issue with our good friend our good friend DP this morning that because he did not have his way, quote unquote, he took up his marble and run. We cannot build a consensus in that manner, especially when we have youngsters or people who one would say less endowed in terms of exposure and whatever, and listen to those of us who have a platform to sort of carry and guide the narrative.
All right, my brother. Respect. Thanks
Blessings.
much, Conrad. One love. We have a caller holding. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Bella. I hope Mr. Conrad get this question.
Hold on.
Mr. Conrad.
Conrad is off, you know. So if it's Conrad you want, hold on. Let me see if him gone.
No. I was hoping that he.
Hold on, Conrad, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. Could it be that the Prime Minister afraid of Miss Dalrymple run as an independent candidate?
I don't think
election. That's why he was forced to bring her back.
No, I don't think. Sorry, Carla, you finished the question?
Yeah, man, answer. Go ahead, Conrad. Hold on, Conrad.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that Mrs. Dalrymple would contemplate running as an independent. I believe that what happened, the Prime Minister is looking to win. He wants to retain the seat, and he believes that his best chance from a candidate standpoint is Marissa Dalrymple, especially against the background of the waves that Patmore is creating. Very, very popular candidate. And that is, again, I'm closing out by saying that is why I believe it's a missed opportunity for the PNP not to have contested this one. And I think they will make it harder for Patmore in the next time around. Because once you get Dalrymple back in there, the job of Patmore is going to be more difficult.
All right, brother. Respect. 8047072. Go ahead. Hello?
I did not take up my marble and run, sir. If you check the chat, look at the abuse that Colin people them have been meted out to me. Just go and read them.
But DP, why you toe-to-toeing with the people in the chat? You're a big man in the man. You have to understand some things. You just leave them alone.
Right, but Colin, when we hear you trumpet what they were saying, because
anyway, hold on.
Wilson wasn't saying nothing that you want.
DP, me now go back down. Yeah, me now go down the argument with it in the chat room. If you call to talk about something substantial, make we talk about that.
So I wanted to say this earlier. Congratulations to the two new ministers. Actually, three. I see everybody overlooking Samuda.
I think because so Samuda was there. Go ahead.
The report, like most people are talking, but I want to say, this has shown something that I was saying. I remember that Jamaica and a lot of news or program hosts, journalists, it sounded like Jamaica was going to crash and burn because Dr. Clark was leaving, not knowing that there's a program. And I hear you say something, and I must comment, as even Dr. Philip said. He said, when we have to go through him, no other finance minister, we have to go through that again with IMF or anybody else. The finance ministry wasn't centered around Dr. Clark. I know I'm happy to hear even Philip Powell and others, saying good things and good praises for the new minister. I think Favour Williams should basically, like you, Colin, if you're a party that win and then put you like anything other than entertainment and agriculture, but I think them a waste of talent. I thought Favour talent wasn't being able to shine in education, but now DNA is going to do that. And Jamaica is in good hands, contrary to what a lot of people trying to say. So may I say congratulations to them, sir. And I want to ask you this, Colin, before I go. You have a problem with me being on your show, sir?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So like I said, ask me, I'm here now. You can't ask people to call you different views. And when you call, you either say you don't want to hear that people are trying to really show, because that wasn't my intention.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. 8047072. Who else may have a call back? I have somebody else to call back. Yeah. All right. 804-7072. Good evening. Morning.
Morning, sir.
Welcome.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thanks. Listen, I've been listening to yourself and Conrad, and I am really wondering, and maybe you can guide me. Is a different situation that the Prime Minister finds himself in right now as a person who is holding the office of Prime Minister and is being investigated for illicit enrichment, and he has not seen it fit to step aside until that process is fleshed out and come to a final conclusion. Is there a difference between himself and Dalrymple per se?
All right, let me say this first. I don't think Marisa should have resigned as MP. I think she should have stepped aside as the Speaker of the House with the Integrity Commission issue. But she decided to step aside. Now, the fact that she decided to step aside, I don't think she should have been returned until that matter is cleared. And if her name is cleared, she come out innocent, then the road would have been clear for her to return. The fact that she...
Check up him, Mr. Bell. Not found innocent, found not guilty.
If she's found not guilty, right? If she's found innocent...
innocent.
No, man, if she's found not guilty, all right.
Not guilty are two different things.
Totally. Because you can be guilty and found not guilty. But that doesn't mean you're innocent. Right. I understand. Clear. So what I'm saying, if she's found not guilty, then the road should be open for her to return. If she's found guilty, then she should serve whatever punishment. And then after the punishment and rehabilitation, if she so desire, then she could return. The Prime Minister, in the Prime Minister case now, the Prime Minister has not yet been charged. However, morally, you'd want to think that the Prime Minister should step aside and allow the process to take place. But it's two different things. Marisa Dalrymple has been charged. The Prime Minister has not yet been charged.
But he's being investigated.
He's been investigated, and there are lots of...
So the fact that he's being investigated as a Prime Minister, holding the office of the Prime Minister, in such circumstances, to your mind, as far as the optics is concerned, and the prestige of the office of the Prime Minister, it should be anywhere, shape, or form be in any disrepute, brother. I'm just asking.
In my views,
to me, it doesn't look good.
In my views, the Prime Minister dirty up Jamaica.
It doesn't look good to the average person. And mind you, just back to Dalrymple. Remember, and Conrad said it, all the things that she's been charged for, she have already confessed and said that she never remember.
Yeah, man. So she had admit to the wrong, and ignorance of the law don't mean you're innocent.
Right, because I am sure
ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Look here, brother. If you are on the road and for argument's sake you get distracted and you run a red light and luckily nothing doesn't come in and the police flag you down and say, boy, you break the red light,
Never
and you tell me, say, boy, your mind just wander.
No, I never see it.
You never see it. And when the police stop you and say, right, you know, so I never see it. You're going to go get a ticket and you're going to go answer in a court and the judge going to tell you exactly what you just said.
Of course. You're going to be charged.
Okay.
So
exactly.
So, but the next point about Marisa Dalrymple issue is that the law states that when you use the concession to get that vehicle must be your primary vehicle. You can't give it to somebody else till the person have it till you don't even remember, say you're one. That also is a breach of the law. And remember one more thing. Marisa Dalrymple-Philibert is a lawyer.
But Mr. Bell, it gets a little bit worse, you know. I don't know if you have ever worked in the government service and know how a traveling officer operates. Which if she gets a vehicle, right?
Yeah.
It will be because of the nature of her job. And when you get a vehicle, you get
Traveling
you're
and upkeep.
entitled to upkeep every single month.
And
you
traveling.
have to claim for it. Yes. You have to claim for it. So she has been claiming for it because the TAJ tells you that she would have to refund all of those monies. And she would have to do that on a monthly basis. Our sister couldn't do that for her, you know.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
I am saying that is why sometimes when people say found innocent, I mean, she has already admitted that of these
issues. Yeah.
These breaches already.
But so my brother,
of course, if you have a good lie, you can be found not guilty, yes. But you know,
my brother,
but no, what she admitted, what she did, and she breached it.
Corruption.
And the last thing I want to say to you, my brother, in the same way that people are putting the microscope on the persons who are selling their vote.
Yeah.
Oh, the similar zeroing isn't going to the person who is buying the votes.
Because there's a seller and a buyer, you know.
Exactly. So the emphasis is on the seller and not the buyer. Do you think that when any one of these politicians come on your program or anywhere, the first question you must ask them if they support vote buying, and of course they are going to say yes. They're going to say no. And the next question you must ask them if they are involved in vote buying. And they are going to say no again. But when the things start to unravel, you're going to say, oh, for them, no. Look, yes, when the reality hit, when the rubber hit the road.
All right, my brother.
All right, sir.
Respect. So, Mystical, call me back right now. Mystical is speaking. Mystical. Listen to the telephone, man. Don't listen to your instrument. Mystical is speaking.
Yes, sir.
Morning. Welcome to Portland Spice TV.
Blessed. Thank you.
Yes, man. Talk to me.
Oh, I thought I was listening to the virgin on.
No, man. That's why you can't listen to your instrument. You have to listen to the telephone straight.
All right, blessed. You know, I would like to escalate the conversation, though in a precise way, right?
Go ahead.
And also translate, a perspective on some of the matters being exposed, right?
Yes.
So on the question of Dalrymple,
yeah.
Well, it is clear, you know, in terms of what has happened. But I want to jump that and to say that the leader of the party must be aware of something that you and I are not aware of. And the primus of that is the outcome of her appearance before the judge in the December appearance.
Yes.
So he must have known what that outcome will be.
Oh, no, you see, that is the problematic part of the thing, you know.
Well, that is where I am, brother.
That is the problematic part, because people are now going to assume that they mess with the court system.
Yeah, he must know. He must know to make such a move like that. He is aware of the outcome of that case, or he is imposing an intimidatory posture on the judge at that local level. Yeah, coercing the judge to make a decision favorable with his decision. So it's a slick move. And so if you want to get a different outcome, you have to carry it to a higher court.
Wow.
In order to,
Yeah.
interpret whatever it is. That is my translation of the matter, you know, man. Yeah.
Right.
Suffice it to say, other matters consistent are just not even worthy of discussing. Yeah. Because there's nothing to discuss when we realize that the culture that prevails, you know, in the leader of the party's circle is one that is obvious. Everybody is just contaminated, yeah?
Yes, man.
So any move otherwise would be just not expected. Any move otherwise would not be expected. I don't expect that they will make a move that is credible. You expect any credibility to come out of any move that the leader of the party make? No.
No. You see,
he's not credible. So I mean, you can't get uncredible out there.
You can't get it, and birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah, man. And the history is clear, and you can name them from this iteration of the party of Jamaica.
Jesus. The country is in a sad state,
you
brother.
Try and number them and see if you can get anything exceptional.
Wow.
Try and number the cases.
How are we going to get out of this door, Mystical?
Well,
because remember, you know, don't forget Kim Brown Lawrence run as a counselor, you know, and she was charged with Royal Reed and Fritz Pinnock.
Brother, you see where it's at, man. You see what I'm saying to you? Who can dispute what I'm saying?
Nobody.
You don't understand what I'm saying.
Nobody can dispute it.
It's indisputable, man. It is indisputable. And let me say this, you know. By the end of this month, you know, the party of Jamaica will be totally disintegrated, you know.
The what?
Totally disintegrated.
The what?
The party of Jamaica, translated to mean the government of Jamaica. It's the party of Jamaica. It's not the government of Jamaica. It's the party of Jamaica.
By the end of this month, is when the prime minister.
Is
when the prime minister case is going to be heard.
When I'm trying to ask a question because I think it's sometime in this month or next month.
I think it's this month. I think it's early this month.
Yeah, it should have been because I heard KD on a program the other evening, and he was saying he's going in the morning. He would represent the leader of the opposition, but I don't hear anything in the news. So I don't know if it has happened, but I mean it
not happened yet. But I think it's early this month. Somebody's saying it's the 7th of November. Thank you, viewers. Yeah, man, about three different people throw it in right away. It's the 7th of November.
Okay, and also the 5th or the 7th of December will be
the 5th is the election in America.
No, next month. The Dalrymple
case. Next month, the 5th of December is Dalrymple's case next month. Yeah.
So when will the director of the prosecution case come?
It's when that one is this year too, you know.
It should have been this month somewhere. I don't know.
That one is what? About the 23rd? I don't remember.
Of November.
Yeah, I think so. But you see the whole morning pass and we don't talk about the by-election. We never even get to talk about the local government by-election, you know. And that's why I know there was an attempt to throw off the program. You know? But we had to step in.
Yeah, I want to pick an insertion though, because they really couldn't trust between DP and O'Brien on this matter.
You're breaking up. Your signal not so good, Mystical.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yes.
The matter of principle must be times, you know. And what we have narrowed down politics to in Jamaica is anything goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's no principle, there's no standard, there's no borders or boundaries, yeah?
Yeah.
Anything is anything.
The bar is the ground.
Yeah, the bar is the ground.
The bar is the ground, brother.
Definitely. The bar is the ground.
Yeah, man.
So and the question of a principle in terms of contested election, that seems to be of no moment, yeah?
Absolutely not. Anybody come. Whosoever will make come.
I don't care about the opportunity that presents itself before me. Even when I have a principle, I stand on the ground of a principle, yeah?
Yeah.
Which is my heart and soul. I don't care about opportunities that lie within my indecision, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about that. I care about my integrity. Standing on the foundation of a principle. So if the People's National Party stands on a principle, even though, let me use this phrase, even though it is a political party, because I don't expect much of a principle coming to a political party, even though it's a political party, it's a commendable, and a laudable stance to take, to stand on a principle. Because remember, what you do is influential to the society,
Exactly.
And you must influence the society in a positive and a credible way.
And if we don't agree with the waste of the $90 million, you can't participate.
And listen to me, I make this final comment because there's so many things that must be said, but I know the time is have expired.
Tuesday night we're going to have Wilfred Rattigan on the show. Tuesday night.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I remember I wrote a letter to the king, asking the king to remove the prime minister as one of the privy councillors.
Definitely.
Yes.
But the last point I wish to make, though, is that you see the impunity that attends governance in this country, and especially the fiscal approach, of government concerning things that are very pertinent to the development, of the people of this society, any action to waste money against the people of Jamaica, is a credible position to take. What am I saying? Any action to waste money against the people, not waste on, waste against the people. Against the people, because you notice all the actions that are being taken, all the investments that are being taken are against the people. Do you know that?
Yes.
Because when you concentrate, look at that too. I listen, Colin. I don't hear nobody speaking about it. When the Prime Minister, leader of the party, was at the Drax Hall opening of courts. He made a disclosure that $2 billion you heard it, $2 billion United States dollars have been procured. I think it's from the private sector arm of the World Bank. To what? To build a bypass road that will connect the Montego Bay one from St. Anne's, from say Ochi. To connect with the piece in Montego Bay.
Me never get that.
You never heard that?
No.
No. Tell me now. You can go borrow $2 billion in this time at Jamaica wants and needs. When the school are popped down, the hospital are popped down, the people are popped down, the people are sick and helpless and ready to die. You can go and borrow $300 billion Jamaican dollar in order to build a road.
I never hear it, but I can go back and check it.
Brethren, me here to know more.
And if you hear it, I have no reason not to believe you.
With me on years,
But that sounds like a big promise again,
I don't. The man say him get a loan.
Him get it already?
Them borrowed from the private sector arm of the World Bank, $2 billion.
That's gonna be a toll road.
I don't know whether it's gonna be a toll. It must be a toll road. But these roads are not meaningful to us as Jamaica at this stage of our development, brother. The people are always left behind.
But there's no production happening in Jamaica, And until we start producing,
Listen, man, until we start make the right investment in our people. See, people are left behind.
Left behind, brother.
And are being replaced by external forces. So what I tell you, hey, we have to talk about this at a time when we have enough time.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. When you called me earlier. Bless up and respect, my brother.
Good.
One love. I have one person to call back that I promised to call back. Yeah, man. So I met back the call, and then we'll close the show. Want to say thanks to everybody who joined in this morning. Thanks to the people in the chat room. Thanks for Conrad O'Brien. Thanks to all the people who shared on the phone line. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. We are past the 2,000 mark. We're going for 3,000 subscribers, my people. My viewers and my subscribers are going for 3,000. So we ask you to just subscribe to the channel And remember, we are on every Saturday morning and every Tuesday evening. This Tuesday at 8:30, we're going to be having Wilfred Rattigan on the show talking about that letter that he wrote to the king. Yeah, man. Suggesting that the king should remove the prime minister as one of his privy councillors. We're trying to call back Bridget in Toronto, not getting through. But we just want to big up all the people who stick and stayed with us. Enough respect. Congratulations to Auntie Favour Williams, new Minister of Finance. And I don't know what some people talking about Nigel Clark. Nigel Clark legacy. You need to look at it. When Nigel Clark, we talk about paying down the debt, but something I want to understand. When Nigel Clark became Minister of Finance, Jamaica owed $2 trillion. $2 trillion. When Nigel Clark leave, Jamaica owed $2.3 trillion. So in all this paying down the debt, don't mean we owe less. We actually owe more money. Because this year, we are borrowing over $260 billion to finance the budget. Put that in on a pipe and smoke it. Jamaica's economy is not in a good place. Christopher Campbell, enjoy yourself over Netherlands. Big up yourself. One love, my people. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace now and forevermore. Until we meet again Tuesday night. Bless up. One love.